Hello, and welcome back. Northstar here with another episode of my Alpha Centauri Let's Play. For those new to the channel, I suggest you check this out from the beginning of the series. Um, if you don't want to, you want to watch this first, I'll tell you briefly. Disabled with long COVID, trying to get this channel to where I can monetize it so I can survive the country if things go fascist here in the US. It's not guaranteed. I talk about sometimes like it's not, but it could happen. Worst comes to worst. A lot depends on whether, say, the courts can rein in Trump. Um, and yeah, the stuff he's done yet might not be considered fascism, just really extreme conservatism. But people like him don't stop with just the things they've done. It'll get worse and worse and worse. More and more violation of people's civil liberties. It's already very reactionary behavior. Um, Also, the welfare systems in the U.S. already are not enough to survive on. Uh, Technically, if I could get housing assistance, if and when I'm no longer able to stay with family because I can't last forever, family member I'm staying with is kind of older, would probably either eventually die or uh, tensions grow too great at some point. Might not have this anymore. So, what little money I'm able to get from the state government, not enough to survive on. I got screwed out of Social Security disability insurance because one of the jobs I worked before I got disabled was for university while I was a grad student. Actually, two jobs were neither because of a stupid rule in the mid 90s. They didn't have to pay the payroll tax, which saved the university money because they don't match your payroll tax contribution. So that's a hidden, not getting paid as much through that stupid rule I had by Newt Gingrich. And he did that knowing not only would that save employers money, including universities, but would also um, tried to justify it with separation, with keeping government out of academia and separation of government and church, because church jobs were also made exempt from payroll tax. But really, it's a way to screw over people, say, who might have otherwise been eligible for disability, because if you have to get certain work credits, you're even one shy, you get nothing. So I need 20. At 18, I would have had more than 20 with those two jobs, or either one of them, I believe, but definitely the bigger one, paying in the payroll tax contribution. And then also issues like a job I started 1 year, but I didn't get my first paycheck the next year. That would have given me one more work credit. I would have only been one shy, but yeah, I really needed that job. That one of those two jobs that was for the university to pay in. So I got screwed in that. I spent a lot of time in grad school because I went for a master's. The program was shut down. Didn't work out. Got stuck in a rural area. The U.S. doesn't have apprenticeship programs to like help people fresh out of school relocate to areas where jobs, maybe do wage subsidies, encourage employers to hire people a little further away because when someone's relocating, there's always a little bit of disruption versus someone who had the money to just move ahead of time and then seek jobs, which I didn't because I had been very averse to debt. Family had promised they'd help me move, and I'd been told, cite that over and over, you don't want to borrow any more money than you have to. So I actually put money I earned in jobs into borrowing less loans and took out the less than maximum. I could have graduated with a nice fat war chest, like maybe $10,000 or $20,000 in the bank, and if I just borrowed more in loans up to the limit I was allowed, and then I could have easily relocated to a big city, where my field was biology. So you also hear little bits of commentary on the biology in this game sometimes, because although I was more medical version, you get some understanding of ecology. Some training in it is required for most biology majors. So yeah, I have some understanding of environmental science, ecology stuff. Anyways, so I'm here. I've got some mine worms to deal with, but the big threat is the Spartans, the south, who have the monsoon jungle. So they are the game leader right now, and they actually have more population I do as the peacekeepers. Usually are the population leader in most games. Uh, you can see the scores rankings here. Um, I'm neck and neck with the Gaians, and sometimes they're ahead of me, and sometimes I'm ahead of them. But the Spartans are scary. They are the military leaders, the population leaders, overall leaders. They are a real threat. I mean, that one tile right there gives 5 nutrients without a farm, and they should be able to get 6 with a farm. This tile with just a farm, well, they could also do a solar collector, so they could have 6 nutrients, 1 mineral, and 2 energy, just not one tile. It's monsoon jungle tiles are very high yielding, especially when they got a couple nutrient resources, one on a jungle square and one right outside. It's on a rolling rainy tile. Yeah, so I've kind of stopped building out bases because they're a little bit of a longer term investment. I'm spamming lots of recon rovers. I did queue up one network node here, and I decided I probably can't afford to go right into that. I'll need it eventually, but I need more rovers first. I don't have the energy to hurry it. Facility is the most efficient thing to spend energy on because you get usually 2, for every 2 energy you get a mineral. But it would be, I would need, after the first row, we need, which you can't rush stuff before without very high costs, I would need 140 energy on that network node. So it's going to be a bit. I only have 44. Just keep doing recon rovers. I need the strong military to deter Spartan aggression. And if they do attack anyways, to actually be prepared, because I'm definitely not now. UN headquarters, I'm going to fit in a rec commons. Because this base can only remain in a golden age, which it's not right this second. Because it can't be unless it's at least size 3. Yeah, I should swap back to that now. Can't be in a golden age. Past size 3 without, because 3 pops would be happy, or 3rd pop will be a worker and 4th would be a drone. So without a police here or something, when this base reaches size 4, we need a rec commons. That said, I probably also want to rush that. It's going to be a little bit. Let's see. 4, it'll be down to 4 rows each. So 10 turns. Yeah, and that's only doing 1 mineral turn on this, but then it'd be up to 3. Yeah, this is about right, actually. So squeezing in a rec commons to keep the rate of population growth from being abysmal. I really wish that I could run doctors and democratic and planned and with the golden age be able to pop boom, but that's not possible except with expansion. I'll probably do that eventually. There are a few things that are different. And even with the very not great AI, this is just Science 2.1 patch. The Yitzi's 3.5 I think I have, but it had installed, but accidentally didn't install Science, which may have overridden it. And I think only affects the only Crossfire exe, which doesn't work in Windows 11 without the Thinker mod fixed that issue, but the base, like good old games and stuff, haven't. Alright, sorry, I've been talking too much, so let me tired and I get 2 verbose sometimes.
Request confirmation.
5 for 11 energy. Yeah, I'll do that because calling pod. It's one of the last, probably the last one I do for a while. It may seem like I should just do economic investments and then go all in military, but I'm trying to maintain a certain level of minimal level of military readiness while still squeezing what economics I can. So I'm doing it where it's most cost effective, like Formers, where there's a lot of terraforming, or colony pod right next to where I'm going to be doing another base. Let's see. This base will grow, and then I'll have another mineral I'll be able to put towards the recon rover. Assuming it doesn't lose a scout patrol. Have else anyways. Cool. Let's see. Oh, I should double check growth. All right. Headquarters, I know it's growing. Planetary Trust, yeah. Some of them are getting along towards growth. Cool. And let's save. And end the turn. Keep an eye on these mine worms. Oh, forest expands. Hercules, that's one of the 3 suns in the Alpha Centauri system. There's the 2 binary stars, and there's I think it's a brown dwarf is the 3rd, Proxima Centauri, which is much further away. And brown dwarfs aren't true stars, they're actually failed stars, so at least they don't have nuclear fusion. Like gas, really big gas giants, they're a little bit, they have intermittent bursts of fusion at the core, but they're not true stars. But yeah, Hercules has received from Perihelion. Native life activity should return to normal levels. Yeah. Okay. Another scout patrol lost.
Production complete.
I figured that might happen. That's why I had a uni over here to clean up the mess. 135 to 14 odds. I think I can risk that. 20 energy credits. Planet pearls for clearing the mine worm. But yeah, I shouldn't have as many problems with mine worms now. Survive that. Force expands near monitoring agency. This grew into this rolling area tile. Nice, if I just clear this one last tower, the force expands again. I won't have any fungus adjacent. Oh no, there's still to the west. Never mind. Well, if it grows here then, and I clear this, or force grows there eventually. Trying to cut back the fungus so I don't have to worry about getting tapped by mine worms from fungus tiles, where mine worms can move 3. They treat xenofungus like roads. And they're not visible. I think sensor rays reveal, but I don't have sensor rays everywhere. I'm building one here because they also give defense bonuses to anything within 2 tiles. That includes 2 diagonally. So Forest Agency will most importantly get defense bonuses from that. I get a little more visibility here, though I have a sensor ray there, so I'll just give it on this tile west of Forest Agency, really. It's mainly for the defense bonus. I'm building that one. But yeah, and also the tile next to Forest Agency will be revealed. This sensor array I'll probably replace with a... I can do condensers now that I have the weather paradigms. So probably want a condenser here because that'll add 2 nutrient production, or actually 4 rainy plus nutrient, 5 from farm. I think it'll be up to 7, whereas it's currently 4. So I add 3 nutrients. This will become rainy and moist, rolling rainy. And so I probably swap that for mine because I don't have gene splicing yet. Of course, I'll have less visibility over this way, but I need minerals badly. sometimes worth this tile and sometimes not. Um, let's see with the condenser, looking where the rainfall increase. Oh, they're all flat. Oh, there is a rolling moist tile to the west, so it'll become rolling and rainy. Another site for a mine. For gene splicing, then some will get redeveloped into solar panels, because mines reduce nutrient output by 1, so they'll be effectively +1 nutrient, +1 energy. Some, maybe not all, because I can only grow bases of size 7 before I have complexes. But so maybe solar panels and echelon mirrors. No, because the energy limit, and there's no energy resources, just solar panels here and there for a little more nutrient, faster pop growth. All right. So here I am busy with, actually I need a unit here because I need to protect this former. I'm thinking this calculate before. It's easy to see the, the garrison the base and assume it's, the right unit. But I don't need to for some reason like I do now. Okay, scout patrol. Investigate, but it won't. It'll be silent because they already got upgrade. I'm gonna build a forest there because it's the only place around where I can put a forest. It might expand since this is gonna be a farm for Ocean Institute, and it might even expand under the monolith, which is nice. That will provide protection against eco damage from terraforming a little bit. Forest slightly reduced eco damage. It's not much, but it's a little. Every little bit helps. Overall, many players use forests too much as tiles you work, and sometimes early you want them for minerals, but they're always valuable to be around the edges of bases, tiles you're not working for that, and worth planning so you can clear them later for a one-time mineral. It's like 4 turns, 3 turns with the weather paradigm to plant. You get, I think, 20 minerals when you clear them, so put a little bit of former time in, you get a bigger reward out from clearing them later. And they might grow the other tiles, which give you more to clear. Let's see, the alien artifact. Boom. Recon rover to protect it. It's highly unlikely mineworms would come this way, but keep it here anyways. This is also if I need to go north. Something goes bad here. Like a bunch of mineworms show up, but it's not. Most likely from the Isle of Deep, unloading like 3 mineworms on the coast. That can happen. Alright, Sentry. I do need a road here. also need a road here. Now enable the former to possibly move 2 tiles and turning it to this rolling moist area. Build a farm. UN headquarters is growing quickly, I suppose, and or no, what am I saying? A condenser. Because it's hard to see with this stupid slope. 1, 2, or 1/3. Boom. Maybe I'll have it help with the sensor array actually. No, it'll already be done. Flat moist, flat moist. Flat rainy. Oh, heck with it. No. Yeah, I'll just go there. What's worth noting you can do as a minor optimization is you can actually build condensers on tiles you want force to expand to, and eventually it will. And then you'll have condenser force, which provide 2 food instead of 1, without a tree farm even. With tree farm it's 3, so you get the benefits of an extra food from the condenser. So we could do that, get a 1-off sum of minerals, which could help with my military buildup. I don't think any pops are actually working that tile. Nope. Although, World Health Organization is going to grow very soon. Oh, I can send a 1/3, 2/3. Yeah, I can try and get the former on that rolling moist tile and put a farm up. Probably. Probably do a forest first. Oh, I know. I'll do that road, then a condenser right next to World Health Organization. That'll make this a rolling rainy tile. I'll do a farm mine on it. Then, condenser will eventually get overgrown with forest. It'll take a while, quite a while. But it'll be a 3 nutrient, 1 energy tile until then. When it gets overgrown, it'll become a 2 nutrient, 2 mineral, 2 energy tile. So it won't be terrible to work anyways. I was talking about this flat, rainy area, eventually having a supply car and work it for food, but that won't be for a while tech-wise. Yeah, and if I do a condenser here, I'll be sure to go into these rovers, get them done quicker. Which could pay for itself in terms of exploration. Getting more unipods. Oof, 25 minutes already? Really? Sorry I talk so much, guys. Should probably put this somewhere where it won't. So for collateral damage on defeat. Go here. Right before the forest finishes, actually. This, the designated defender, the recon rover. Sentry. Leave the Union rover here. Would suffer collateral damage if my worm's attacked here, but the forest agency is a more likely target. And that way, if a worm comes here, it can move through forest agency, which has no forest, so it's just one movement to go through. It's flat terrain. And attack the worm with a full health Uni rover or recon rover and leave the Uni one here. Seems good to me. Or shoot. What? Nope. Try and go. Boom. Failed. I was gonna say if that succeeded, I could pull this rover somewhere else, but it failed. I'll protect this unprotected former. I think Rocket Train might provide a defense bonus against my worms, or might only work against normal units. But I could probably risk a rover to keep a former alive. Shouldn't be quite so. Hold on to them. The universe eventually become hopelessly obsolete, even if they're essentially a clean unit early. Because they don't require support from anywhere.
Terraform complete.
These guys are on alert. Forest is done. Should work. It. Because extra energy. Extra lab point, basically. 14 turns on flexibility. That'll allow me to build ships. Including sea formers, so I can improve these energy resources if I wish. Oh, there's one thing I did want to check. Secret projects. Like this even is voiced over by, well, this requires cyber ethics, planetary networks, intellectual integrity. I'll eventually get that. Planetary data links aren't terrible. Maybe I'll grab them eventually, but it's not for a while. Okay. So I'm going to focus, instead of on producing energy, on food to grow my population, getting pop booming when I can, so industry, challenge creations, and just use the planetary data links to not fall behind in tech. It's harder to grow to pop boom this than the expansion. This doesn't need to be a designated defender anymore. It's not guarding anything that I really wouldn't want to lose. Hmm. If I got to work on clearing this fungus, I could just take a beeline through Mountain Command, get a scout patrol to Forest Agency, a better one, have these green guys go get upgraded. That's probably worth it. Now they've dealt with the Mineworm and Perihelions ended. This guy's clear the fungus. Don't need him attacked for no reason. Suppose anything that attacked him would be able to be counterattacked from Mountain Command. Oh well. Maybe I should have not kept clear of the fungus. Doesn't probably matter. It's only for non-combat units. I want to do that. Go away the farm. Alright. Send the Hardened Scout Patrol here. Make sure the Union River doesn't get overrun by any worms. Come out of nowhere. And I'd like to explore this way. Guess I'll go by way of the rocky tile. It's the safest way. Put these guys on sentry. Alright, Recon Rover gets an upgrade. Just over here where had to go boom boom. There's a chance to go one turn to the monolith, but it failed. Had 2/3 chance. Odds sometimes against you. Scout Patrol also needs to become disciplined. Just need a defender. Oh, wait, it was already. Cool. Want to make sure it, not the Recon Rover defense, since they're equally good in the defense, but the Recon Rover is much better in the attack. It's more expensive to replace. Okay. Why is this trying to ran places. I'm just gonna do sentry. Should protect the colony pond. Just the formers, it doesn't matter what you put where. Not much. Identical except for where they get support. If my worms crawl, the fungus would probably rather attack and risk the World Health Organization one, which most things. Yeah. Another pod. And another failure to enter fungus. Got bounced. Get that recon rover to that monolith. This is the same day as before, so I do remember that it, even though it's disciplined, it hasn't been upgraded because it got the discipline from a fight instead of training level, that is. Which, cool. It'll be hardened in the end.
Turn complete.
Keep exploring. The Spartans notice I'm there. They might ask me to leave, but they might not, since this area is so remote. It's the hope. Scouting in their territory a little bit. It's, be hidden once it's in the fungus, so. If it is attacked, they declare war. It's a scout rover. It's less fun than the recon rovers in a way. Eventually, I'll be doing stuff scouting with probe teams, but without even knowing the lay of the land, they could get cornered easier or end up entering xenofungus that's particularly dangerous because it's part of very large patches. It's more likely to be mine worms. Alright, saving up energy for the facilities. Right, nodes are expensive. Our commons aren't free either. This colony pod is headed here for Hydrology Council. Hmm. Could have gone boom boom, but it probably would have been bounced out of the forest. With only 2/3 of movement. This is the most reliable way to get here. It's safer going through the base. All right. Oh yeah. So one thing I looked at or was thinking about and I looked at earlier is a semi-market economy kept in check by fierce government regulation. Uh, yeah, this game didn't want to give you, I guess, at least the way it's described, a true socialist option, even though the Friedrins are clearly socialist, and for them, I would imagine planned economy equals socialism. I they probably actually nationalize industries, have workers' cooperatives, but maybe not for the peacekeepers. Regulation is definitely inferior to nationalization because, all right, think of it that, or socialization of the means of production. Because think of it this way: regulation just tells a company what they can't do. It doesn't tell them what they should do or would want to do. And the interests um, of a capitalist-owned company are always going to be to maximize profits, even if it hurts the public. So if the regulations get in the way of profit, the capitalists will try and undermine the regulations through regulatory capture, even if they can't get the laws changed. They'll try and get their people on in the regulatory agencies, people who used to work for them, and essentially bribe them because they'll pay them really well while they work for them more than their job would. There's this whole system of it. Or they'll also give scholarships to people, like for education. Have them work for the regulators first, then recruit them out. There's a variety of ways they do it, but it's very scummy. Regulatory capture, revolving door between business and government. Bribes politicians to make the laws full of loopholes, or just finding things that there's not a rule against yet that there really should be. Um, However, if on the other hand, business is owned by either, there's different types of things of socialist ownership. If it's workers cooperative, the workers vote on things, and so at least the workers they might still want to screw over the public for their own interest, but they won't want to do things to screw over the workers. So at least uh, you won't see regulations that protect workers being violated by a workers' cooperative, as long as the managers, the workers elect, are actually keeping their promises, and the corporate constitution of the workers' cooperative makes sure that there are checks and ways to do a recall on a manager. Because the way workers' cooperatives work is they essentially elect stewards or managers who manage the company. And very often, if the person doesn't have a business background already, they'll actually send them to a business school because that can be expensive. And like, say, the US, you probably see what they do in Spain, where they actually will run their own business schools, which are much more efficient because they're not like universities become money making ventures. These ones are run very lean. They're just about teaching the necessary skills to do business. Like, it's a much leaner MBA than you'd find in a university in the United States or something. So they'll send the managers to get their MBAs if they don't have it, kind of thing, or masters in public administration, whatever degree is appropriate for the, I mean, MBAs usually, but it's geared towards capitalist systems of, so an master's in public administration may in some cases actually be a more appropriate skill set. Um, so MBA, MPA, whatever, they get their managers necessary skills. They might even give them, if it's a scientific enterprise, like get them a master's in a scientific field as well. Um, that would require going to an established research university. It could cost a lot, but in the pharmaceutical industry or something. Um, Workers' cooperatives also have a larger number of people involved in decision making. So let me put it this way: if you have a capitalist business, there's maybe 5 people on the board of directors of that company who are going to massively profit off of scummy decisions. And so let's say your decision is worth $5 million. If you screw over the public, for $1 million each, the people might decide to do this, weighed against their conscience. But if there's 5,000 workers in the company who are all essentially determining what happens, then suddenly it's only $1,000 each person that the company screws over, and they may decide that being able to sleep well at night is worth more than $1,000. You can see how already there's going to be more ethical business practices, but not always. Workers' cooperatives sometimes still do bad things, they're just less likely. They tend to be better, but not perfect. This is where nationalized and socialized more properly industries come in. Nationalized industries are owned by the government, the national government, and then, voters, because proper socialism should be a democracy. Then voters have some say through the political representation process, or direct democracy, even, where they're directly voting on laws or how a state owned enterprise would work. Salvador Allende's Chile, which is a democratic socialist country, actually a democracy socialist, one free and fair election, and they started restructuring the economy in a socialist direction. They started creating what was known as cyber which was a system that would help, and in fact actually did roll out an early prototype version of it, where people thought the country could vote on, um, not really vote exactly, they could provide feedback on what was needed in industries and collectively make decisions. Sometimes it could come down to a vote if there was disputes about like where trucks needed to go with certain materials, because there were all these resource shortages because the U.S. put them under sanctions basically because they elected a socialist government, because the U.S. doesn't let socialist countries ever have a chance to succeed. Even ones like Chile, especially it's a problem with ones like Chile that even though it was free and fair elections, they were heavily dependent on imports, their economy. Right? That was not a new thing, so being sanctioned was a huge problem. Um, Particularly food imports, but there were also lots of industrial materials. Um, so, but anyways, voters may have input, but of course you have to go all the way up their national government. So there's also local ownership, or say a business in a town, and everyone in a town, or so like in this game, maybe I decide to build a factory in forest agency. Everyone in the base might vote on major decisions at the forest agency factory. Maybe the workers vote on most day-to-day things, and or managers do many things without a vote. Somewhat bigger things, all the workers, but the biggest decisions, such as whether to expand the facilities, do something that might create pollution, maybe everyone in the base, the town, votes on. Maybe the business is still technically owned by the whole faction, by the national government, but it leaves it up to local votes most of the time. That's another way of doing things. That's usually what most socialists, democratic socialists, would prefer over top-down central nationalized planning. Um, Keep things more decentralized because it's less vulnerable to corruption that way. But central planning and national businesses also works. The point is you give people a say and you may give the workers more votes on things because they're actually doing the work. Whether it's twice as many votes or 10 times as many votes as everyone else, but you make sure everyone has a say. It's more proactive, whereas regulation is reactive to problems. This is a proactive way to make sure businesses actually operate in the public interest. All right. And yeah, regulation is ultimately doomed to fail if that's all you do.
Request confirmation.
So, uh, let's kind of want to hurry that. Oh, this is probably more important.
Confirmation.
Nah, that's a little expensive still. I want to wait a turn.
Request confirmation.
Oh, yeah, this is the same cost effectiveness as um so lead to recon rows. Maybe the third one make it a little done a little slower. Let's see, 40 to 8 7 6. I don't know. Might save a turn at some point, but even if it doesn't, uh, it'll help get up to 10 minerals at the network node quicker. Maybe, I don't know. Might not matter. Just get energy credits used. heck with it. Doing
Request
this
confirmation.
because of the importance of exploration. Sure, that will delay the network node, but military preparedness, yes, but also recon rovers are my most efficient scouts because they can move twice as fast as scout patrols and they only cost twice as much, same as a scout rover would. All right. Another forest expansion.
Golden Age begun.
Cool. All right, let's see. 4 turns. And that would take 5 to be able to hurry the rec commons, so 9. Yeah, by the time I do the rec commons, I'll lose the golden age for a turn. Doesn't really matter. The rec commons is a golden age. Oh, actually, it'll increase his lab output right now, not economy. So I get 1 lab point, and I'm a golden age more than I would otherwise. If I had the rec commons, I'm paying 1 more in upkeep, so I'm actually turning economy into lab points. Probably actually not even worthwhile. You only need to be in the golden age right before to reduce the size of the number of nutrients of growth right before you grow with the golden age. So yeah. But I don't think I have enough time to do another recon rover before it, so recon rover, rec commons. That might not hurry it immediately though. And that'll mean less energy used on it. Will also mean I can get the network node sooner. Just recon rovers again. Cool.
Production complete.
Let's look at this. 5. So 25 more minerals to go after this. Be 7. This turn then. So 7 again. 18. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so hurrying before it did cut 1 turn off the final recon rover. And only the final recon rover. Which is probably good. Wouldn't want to hurry the others because it pay more in support. And then the final one I'll end with no overflow. And then I'll be 5 and it'll be exactly 2 turns till I can, hurry the network node. If I have the energy, which in 5 turns, no way I'm going to have 140 energy unless I get a bunch somehow. Bloody A. You know what? Network node can wait. Command center costs less. I can definitely hurry that. And I actually need higher quality units.
Production complete.
Like higher morale. I'm not going to be able to get the network. I mean, a command nexus because the hive's grabbing it. So, cool.
Production complete.
keep expanding these forests. Where did it expand this time? Oh, here. Cool. That leads to easier movement. The scout patrol. And this you can go here. I can try to get right to Forest Agency. If it fails, it'll be here. All right. Green unit. Green is an experience, not as an ecological. Go here. If it's tapped by my worms, there's no scout patrol can
Terraform complete.
pick up the slack. Tack as well. Multiple units are on there actually. I don't mind some of the scout patrols and yet hardened if they get to discipline before upgrades. They can put them in very critical places in the long run for them to pay upkeep. Some of them are just doing worm duty. I'd rather pay the upkeep on better units. You know what? Do the command center a little earlier. Because that way, more recon rovers, they're higher morale. Quality over quantity a little bit. Or rather, temporary weakness so that later I'll be better prepared for the Spartans. Because they're nasty. Their units are elite a lot of the time, or commando. All they need is a command center and obelisk to a monolith to get elite units. Because they can train them right at commando and then upgrade them to elite. Right. Save this. Build the road. Probably do the condenser thing just to harvest minerals. Actually, that might go right into command center. And, oh, alien artifact provides a little defense. Since I'm not always going to have a unit world health organization, there's a chance of naval. I don't want to lose this alien artifact. I'll just keep it in the HQ, actually. So even if Island Deep comes, it's not going to be able to destroy it. Use it for later techs, which are actually worth more. Techs become more expensive, I think, with each one you do. Definitely the higher tier ones are more expensive. Wait, there's a sensor right now. On the rocky tile, since I can't mine it effectively yet. I no longer need to remove fungus because the forest did it for me. Nice. Very nice. Cool. Shift that to that. That's there. That's so in defense command grows, they can work a river forest instead of a. Oh, no, that's actually pointless. It would just go into inefficiency. Shoot. Alright, well. Stick with that then. For now. 4 turns will. Space will gain. Probably one of them will go into efficiency, another would be econ. I can check the inefficiency stuff when base grows. Force can't grow into rocky tiles easily. Rocky and rainy. Could level that and make it rolling. Rainy. Excuse me. I give him 2 more nutrients, 2 less minerals from. Yeah. Maybe, maybe not, but I should probably acquire it just to make forest agency a little safer. Scout patrol. Monitoring agency finally got its upgrade. Go there. That's actually where the former goes next turn, even. Set up a farm. here I was going to do a solar collector. Maybe could do the initial on Meier, but it takes longer. Eventually, prove solar collectors here, but it's gonna be a while to uncap energy. Hmm. Hmm. Let's do this. It's a chance. Nice. Then by going through the open terrain, I can the open terrain. Skedaddle on the river. That's probably more important. Just think of getting the hydrology council site, but nope. Take a minor risk. If mine worms show up here, they'll target this and not the former. Or this, or this, or this. Plenty of other targets. Maybe I'll just put a farm to the north. No. There's plenty of equivalent tiles with the sensor arrays. Maybe all the formers go south next turn. Combat the fungus is a high priority. Especially from tiles, they'll eventually be workable that way. 6 and 7 turns. These are both worked. Working a superior tile here, which will have a sword collector. Guess there's all these rolling moist tiles on the coast. Moist. Nobody's defending that farmer. Send the scout patrol. Got the recon over there. I'll take a mineral over the one econ that's not in it. Goes to efficiency. A mineral over one energy credit. Yes, please. Now that I finish that farm. Alright. Already 5 nutrients from that tile. Should go up, I think, to 7 with the condenser. At least 6. Since nutrient resources are not capped for. It's gonna take a while though. Let's make other tiles wetter. Create more rolling rainy tiles around. Well, one more. Alright. And we go exploring with the scout patrol. Not as fast as a rover, but this a designated defender. This can go to back that one up. Teams of 2 are much safer in a way, because if not safer, but if a mindworm kills it, the weakened mindworm can be defeated by the other scout patrol. So, this unit does just as good to defend. It's equivalent. It's even support from the same base. A rover and Centauri, so it'll heal up. So plant forest just so I know what I'm playing there for later, because I'm going to end this video any sec. That'll slowly crowd out some of the fungus, and I won't have to clear fungus to make it space like it would somewhere else. Let's see. 9 turns till I can start on a foil. Probably hurry the calling pod when it's close to done. So, yep, a recon rover and then a foil. Start making naval units here, and maybe a defense command as well. Maybe. Scout patrol and sentry duty. Hmm. Hmm. I should just keep this Uni rover protecting
Turn
that
complete.
former. Very little chance of getting attacked, but if it does get a rocky bonus, it's hardened, it'll be fine. Probably. Hmm. So this performance is cleared fungus mainly. Make space. I might put a forest. Nah, it's not worth it. That might eventually be a borehole, but I guess they go here and do a farm mine for defense command to have a little more production. Alright.
Request confirmation.
It wouldn't hurt to hurry
Request
this.
confirmation.
It's a good price. It's 2 energy credits per mineral.
Request confirmation.
And this. The command center can be hurried partway through the forest chop, basically, which it's been in all the Civ games. People don't realize there's forest chops in Alpha Centauri as well. You have to plant the forest or have it naturally grow, but it's still one off of minerals. In this case, I'm using it for a condenser, which will increase the rainfall to the west. So that's useful, and eventually a forest will grow back into the tile. Forest condenser is as I said, quite a good use of a tile, if you can get that. It's better than the generic, just plain forest, which always feel a little low in food production. With hired farms, you can have 4 nutrients with a forest condenser, which is really good. Nope. No, I don't want to almost accidentally nerve stable. That'd be bad. I'm playing base was all talents too. That'd be terrible. Everyone's happy. Why would I do something brutal to suppress dissent that doesn't even exist? And piss off the other factions while doing it and betray all its values. Alright. It's just bad every which way you look at it. Yeah. Looks good. So let's save here. Twice in case of save corruption. I hope you folks enjoyed this video. Take care of each other.
Please don't go.
Be kind
The
yourselves.
drones need you. They look up to you.
And may you always find a guiding star to lead you home. Till next time, this is Northstar. Adieu, and best luck.